Welcome to the podcast, talking about noise.
Welcome to the podcast.
I am one of your hosts, Art Moore.
I am your other host, Eric Hansen.
And we're happy that you're joining us today.
We're kind of happy.
I'm super happy. This show is awesome.
Not totally happy.
And I totally enjoy doing this show.
Totally. So, what's new, Art?
This weekend I went to a songwriting workshop
all week long. Oh, no way, you did?
Yeah, it was...
Wait, I think I heard that on a podcast somewhere.
Yeah, we talked about it last week.
Shut up.
And I'm preparing, some thoughts about it and some notes, and I'll talk about it later on a different podcast. But
What? On a different podcast?
I know, on the next episode of this podcast.
Oh, right. I thought you were moonlighting.
I mean, I'm always moonlighting.
I'm always keeping my options open. I don't want to commit to any one
I'm never
podcast.
just tied down to this podcast.
I've always got
my side podcast.
I like to graze a little bit. You leave the doors open, maybe I'll come in and graze a little bit.
I'm just saying, if this podcast calls me on the phone while I'm with my other podcast, I'm probably not going to answer.
Ow. Oh. Ooh. That's pretty low, man.
No, I mean, that's how you run a
so
podcast and a side podcast.
And that's how you run about 5 podcasts simultaneously, which is a metaphor for life. So we're not getting a segment today. You're not going to talk about it today?
It was 12 hours long, and it was intense. I mean, we went through just his method of songwriting, which was fantastic, and I'll talk a little bit about that. But then the next day on Saturday, he went through probably 3 hours of the business of songwriting and how it actually works in Nashville and LA and why
Bollywood and Bollywood. Please say Bollywood.
Possibly in Bollywood, but
yes.
This is very American centric on how it worked. Not a lot of international.
I care about my Indian market. They are very important to me.
I think it's great, but it's very much from the aspect of a professional songwriter who writes songs, who works with a publisher, who gets them, as they say, exploited, put in front of artists, put in front of TV shows, that kind of thing, and kind of gets it working. So it was a very fun and educational, weekend. It was awesome.
I woke up at 12 o'clock last night, and I was like, man, Art is going to tell me all about this songwriters thing. I couldn't sleep for 6 hours. I was so excited.
I think it's amazing.
And now you're just going to brush me off.
Yeah,
right?
definitely. I have other great information that you are going to want to hear today.
Oh!
So this is my top 10 things to think about if you're going to make a home studio.
Ooh, a top 10 list.
A top 10 list, a la David Letterman style. Just kidding. No, not really.
But it's not funny. Or maybe it is. I don't know. I'm just speaking for you.
Not at all in any way. Probably funny. I don't know.
Art, are you having a rough day?
It's not...
Studio hug?
It's not bad. Yeah, studio hug across the room. You can give me a studio hug. Don't touch me. And...
Ew.
No, I just been waking up really early. For the last week and a half, I've been waking up at 5:30,
I hate that.
Which is, I don't mind it. And on Sunday, there I was, it's Father's Day. I get to sleep in, right? Nope. Up at 5:30. Just it's naturally happening. So... But it's fun.
Bummer.
Yeah.
It's fun to wake up at 5:30. Yeah.
It's not bad to wake up at 5:30.
No, it's awful. I hate it.
No. I mean, you have to adjust your night schedule. And if you have little kids like you do, there's no way. It's not going to happen.
If I could, right, perfect schedule would be to bed at 2 to 3 in the morning and just wake up whenever. That is my ideal schedule. And I only lived it maybe 2 years of my life.
What was this? A
college.
Yeah.
And it was this is it. I've arrived. And then I left my wonderful schedule.
Yeah, my perfect is in bed by 9 or 10.
I know, right?
And wake up at, 5 or 6.
It's so sad.
And if I'm not going to the gym, which I'm pretty much going every day now, but if I'm not going to the gym, that's prime me studio time. that I don't have to answer to anyone. Everyone's asleep.
Prime rib time, baby.
Nobody wants any of my attention, and nobody, and for a stay-at-home dad, those hours are precious.
Oh, very precious.
Yeah.
Moving on to the news.
Moving on to the news.
So today we both have news.
Yeah. I went out on the interweb and started crawling and gophering some news. Gophering was a protocol.
Yeah, thank you,
the
90s. Thank you.
Oh, this is firmly 1988, 1989. The Gopher protocol for internet traffic.
Eesh.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Anyways, whatever.
Bloop.
So, what's up?
I'll go first.
Yeah.
All right.
You're probably gonna get my big one. Go ahead.
Oh, how funny would that be if I nailed one of your news items?
Oh, I'm sure you are. Go ahead.
All right. That'll be fun. No, this is purely me. This is all me. And to all of the Led Zeppelin fans out there.
Nice.
Okay. Listen to this. Quote. Jimmy Page is releasing the last of the Led Zeppelin set with Presence, In Through the Outdoor, and Coda. These releases include a bunch of new material never before released, including a 1972 session with the Bombay Orchestra. The last releases come out July 31st. So they've been doing this whole reissuing the back catalog, remastering stuff, basically looking at what is good, what's not good, getting rid of all the old stuff, bad stuff, and releasing all of the good stuff.
So my question is, the remastering process. Have you listened to any of the remastered albums from anybody ever, and compared them?
Mm-hmm.
And that process, what do you think about it?
Definitely sounds better.
You like it?
Oh, yeah.
Like that process?
Makes a difference.
Cool.
They try and make it louder and...
a little more modern, a little more compressed.
Yeah, they really try and use the limiter and really try and get everything out of it that they can. And it's also a great business opportunity to say, it's remastered, rebuy my album.
Right. I mean, there's lots of reasons to do it.
Which, of course, I'm going to do 10 times over the course of my career.
Yes.
Remastered for the 8th time.
The 8th remaster of your first album.
This one
Never
will
a
come.
Sophomore album.
Right. This one will come with a autograph. That's all I'm going to offer. That's as far as I'm going to go.
Autograph. It's on a piece of plain white paper, not even the heavy stock, and it just says Eric Hansen.
To fan.
The swoop.
So anyway, this is exciting for multiple reasons. For one, if you are a Led Zepp head like me, you gotta listen to this. This is gonna be good stuff.
Yeah.
I'm also really excited because the 1972 session with the Bombay Orchestra, that was just Robert Plant and Jimmy Page. So I'm gonna give you a history lesson, Art. So Presence is the 7th album, In Through the Outdoor is the 8th album, and Coda is the 9th and last album. Cool. It's almost like Beethoven's symphonies. 9th, right? 9th is the big one.
Yeah.
Okay, not really. Actually,
no, hey, I'm on board with that. I mean,
okay.
I mean, Beethoven was deaf. He had to cut the legs off a very nice piano just to be able to feel the vibrations through the floor. But yeah, this is probably pretty similar.
Yeah. Oh, it's very similar. Like Jimmy Page had to cut the neck off his guitar because he couldn't hear properly, and he was blind, and was mute.
I feel like none of these things are true.
None.
But you're the history.
But what
teacher,
did happen was John Bonham was their drummer, right? He died 1979, or it was 1980, and they decided to call it quits as Led Zeppelin. So never ever toured again under that name. The band was dead. They decided he was a one-of-a-kind drummer, and because of that, they couldn't move on with a new drummer, which total kudos to that.
Nice.
I agree. Now drummers are a dime a dozen, right?
If you can find a drummer, right? That's the thing. Nobody can find a drummer.
I know, nobody.
I'm on the Facebook group. I've got a band who likes to do blues and rock, and we need a drummer who's got soul. These are our influences.
That's their qualification, a drummer who's got soul?
No, basically a drummer who's alive really is the qualification. Yeah. Any drummer who's alive.
Well, yeah, we had to pull a drummer. Our friend Keith, who was, he's 10 years our senior.
Yeah, he's much older than us, and 10 years. Every year we get older, it becomes less and less. But he wasn't even drumming at that time.
I know. You had to go convince him to go join our band.
Are you drumming? He's Well, I used to a long time ago. Do you have a set? Well, I mean, I wouldn't call it a set. I bought it at Sears, or something like that.
Yeah.
And
At Sears, really? Sears? He has one of the nicest drum kits you will ever find on the planet.
Yeah, he bought that after he started playing with me.
Yeah.
So the drum set he had before was terrible.
Was crap.
But the DW...
Yeah, I was going to say it was DW, I think.
Amazing natural ash finish. It was amazing. It was gorgeous. I don't even know what wood it is. I'm just saying ash. That's probably not what it was.
You just want to say that. Ash and
I don't
finish.
I'm not even sure if drums are made in ash. I know guitars are all the time, but maybe
Really?
it was a maple.
Volcanic ash.
Not volcanic ash, like the tree. Never mind. Shut up.
Anyway, so when I was a teenager, one of my main goals was to try and get every single Led Zeppelin album. I became a Zeppelin freak.
Yeah.
Right? That was my thing. And so I had this goal. I was like, I'm going to get every Beatles album, I'm going to get every Pink Floyd album, and every Led Zeppelin album. That was like my goal.
That's a very sound, like, teenage life.
Yeah.
That's very good.
That was
I'm impressed.
I was like, my life will be complete. Who cares about like world hunger or anything like that? I need my Zeppelin albums.
Yeah.
So I joined one of those BMG music services. Remember?
No!
Oh yeah, I did those all the time.
Seriously?
Remember the ones where
But
they're
they
like,
wouldn't send you what you wanted.
oh, all the time they did.
They would?
Yeah.
How did that work?
So
I thought you got like the one you wanted and then like 10 you didn't want.
I have fuzzy memories of it. And at the same time, I was just like, it's my obligation to just buy as many CDs as is possible.
Oh, so just like in general, I'm going to buy as much as I can.
Right. And I'd always be like, okay, I get the 10 free CDs. I have to purchase, it was like, what, 3 over the course of a year or something.
Right.
As soon as that's done, I cancel, re-sign up, get my new 10 free CDs. Right. And so I was just like gobbling them up.
And was it anything good or was it like...
Oh, of course.
Really?
Like I still remember getting One Hot Minute by the Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Ooh.
And I listened to that for like 3 days straight.
Oh, man.
So I was like, oh, this thing's amazing. It's so much fun.
That's so cool.
Anyway, so with Led Zeppelin, I was like, okay, I'm gonna sign up, and I'm finally gonna get Coda, the very last one, which I knew wasn't a very good album. It was kind of a mix of some of their older stuff because they had to fulfill a contract. John Bonham was dead, so it was like, here's our last album, Coda, signifying the end.
Right, we're done.
Right.
This is our Coda. It's all new material type stuff. Yeah.
And I put it in the CD player, and it's Christian gospel music.
What?
And I pulled back out the label says Led Zeppelin Coda on it. Put it back in, and I listened to it. I'm like, huh. I realized he died. I didn't know they'd go in this direction. I listened to the whole thing, just let it keep going. I'm like, huh. I had no idea Led Zeppelin sang Amazing Grace. That is the craziest thing. And like,
this is the worst album, but man, what an artistic direction.
I know. And I'm just sitting there like, huh, what a, I'll give him props. I guess that's kind of cool. It didn't even dawn on me that it was the wrong one. And then finally, like 2 days later, I'm like, wait a minute. That was the wrong CD. So as soon as work was done, I run to the CD store. I'm like, I need to buy Coda right now. Go buy it, plug it in. I'm like, oh yeah, okay, that's the real one. There it is. Drums, guitar.
I can't believe that happened.
It was awesome. So
awesome.
But I wanted to keep it.
Yeah, because it's a
rare collector's.
Maybe it's a collectible. Do you still have it?
No, someone broke into my car and stole all my CDs. So
they're like, Coda, awesome.
I know.
And they put it in. They're like, huh? I never knew that.
So my entire life during high school, collecting all these CDs vanished in an instant when someone stole all of my CDs, just like that. But anyway,
all your manipulation of the what was it?
Manipulation of time and space?
No, of what was the company you bought them all from?
Oh, BMG.
The BMG system.
Yeah. Well, there were 2 of them at the time. I don't remember what the other one
Columbia,
was.
I think was the other one.
Yes,
Columbia
it was Columbia. So yeah, I'd order both at the same time. I just back and forth, because I was a nerd. I was just like,
what a cool guy.
Give me music. Anyway, Jimmy Page says he plans to return to active playing once the reissues are all done. So I'm just putting this out there. I know he's listening to the podcast. He's Jimmy Page, friend of the podcast.
Close friend.
I have an opening on the Swoop. If he's interested in playing, I'm just putting that out there. That's it.
So you're going to choose Jimmy Page over me to be in your band. Is that what we're saying? I just want to make sure.
Oh, this just got awkward.
I know where we're going to be with this. Can I at least play rhythm?
Art. So
I'm good.
It's been fun.
I got my own music I'm working on.
But
no, never mind.
It's not me.
No.
It's not you. It's me.
No, it's over. All right.
You got news.
Taylor Swift.
No.
This is not bad news.
I went over this one just because we beat this to death.
Beat what to death?
Taylor Swift. We idolize her. We have a... wait. Did I say that loud?
Listen, we have only 3...
We have a shrine in the basement.
3 of the posters we have on the walls here are Taylor Swift, okay? So just give us a break. We're fine.
All right.
Okay, so Apple, of course, is starting to release their streaming service.
iTunes Music.
And they are giving everyone who signs up a free 3-month trial period, okay? Pretty cool thing. However, they are also telling the artists that nobody's getting paid during that 3 months.
They just released a thing this morning.
I know. This is the news I'm talking about. Taylor Swift released a letter. Part of the letter said, I realize that Apple is working towards a goal of paid streaming. I think that's a beautiful progress. We know how astronomically successful Apple has been, and we know that this incredible company has the money to pay artists, writers, and producers for the 3-month trial period, even if it is free for the fans trying it out. 3 months is a long time to go unpaid. And it is unfair to ask anyone to work for nothing. I say this with love, reverence, and admiration for everything else Apple has done. I hope that soon I can join them in the progression towards a streaming model that seems fair to those who create this music. I think that this could be the platform that gets it right. But I say no to Apple with all due respect. It's not too late to change this policy and change the minds of those in the music industry who will be deeply and gravely affected by this. We don't ask you for free iPhones. Please don't ask us to provide you with our music for no compensation. So I thought that was interesting. You know, I've given Taylor Swift a lot of crap since we started this podcast, both like in my personal life and...
You have not.
You know,
we love Taylor Swift.
Taylor Swift was great. And I'm starting to have more respect for her because this is the second time she's done this. So Spotify and now with iTunes Music. Hopefully this and Tidal will result in actual real revenue for artists and songwriters, which I am quickly discovering from this seminar. That's 2 different paid streams that need to get paid. And many times on Pandora and on Spotify, the artists are getting paid minuscule amounts of money, but the songwriters are getting nothing. So it's kind of interesting.
Well, yeah.
I didn't know that.
Welcome to the world, Art.
Well, you know, that's something that needs to be fixed.
If you have a brand, you market the brand, and you pay your minions nothing. Egypt was doing this 4,000 years ago. Come on. Where have you been?
That's right. No, you're right. You're right. Anyways, what else you got?
Okay. So, coming up, Van Halen is going on tour.
That's right. He's coming to Salt Lake. They are coming to Salt Lake.
But he's okay.
I think
Eddie Van Halen, friend of the podcast, Eddie Van Halen.
Stop saying that.
What? He is a friend of the podcast.
We're going to get sued.
Yeah,
they're going to say, I've never met you.
Cease
We've
and
never been friends.
from being my friend. And then we'll send him a love letter and read it on the podcast. Dear Eddie. Anyway, I thought it was cool that they're touring with David Lee Roth, which is their original singer. Mm-hmm. They kind of snubbed Sammy Hagar in the process, so he is not going with them. Now, I was thinking, if they could just resolve their differences and have both of the singers on a tour, you know how big that would be? That would be massive. That would be the ultimate Van Halen tour.
How would that ever happen? I mean, you have 2 lead singers.
Too many egos.
It's
they take turns.
Yes, I understand they take turns, but the ego is just...
No, their heads.
One set is Sammy Hagar, the other is David Lee Roth. It's never going to work out.
Oh, it would never work out. But that would be so awesome. That's my fantasy world.
No,
okay?
It is a fantasy world. Completely and
that would be great.
It's never happened.
Anyway, apparently David Lee Roth still thinks he's like 20 years old. And he's still partying like a rock star.
Whoa.
And I
what is he in his 50s now?
60s.
60s.
I am hoping, I'm praying and hoping that he comes out with the pink spandex and tries to do the split kick in the air and jumps off the stage. Like, if I see that, I think I will just freak out and die.
Yeah.
That would be awesome.
That would be pretty cool.
Anyway, funny quote. Eddie Van Halen says, quote, "How can I put this? Roth's perception of himself is different than who he is in reality. We're not in our 20s anymore. We're in our 60s. Act like you're 60. I stopped coloring my hair because I know I'm not going to be young again."
Nice.
Yeah, he's still partying like a rock star. It's the alcohol, it's the girls, everything.
Wow.
And I'm like,
Hey, if you can pull that off in your 60s.
if he dies on stage, that would also be worth the ticket. Boom. That would be fun.
All I know is I can't pull that off in my 30s. I want a nice warm glass of milk before bed. I want to crawl into bed around
You're
9
already in your
o'clock,
80s.
roll over at about
in your
9:30.
30s. So anyway, that's my other piece of news.
That's great.
I'm going to try and recruit you to come to Van Halen with me.
Yes, I think I want to. I've got to check my schedules.
Yes.
So
I'm going.
I've got many schedule. Dave Grohl breaks a leg
Yeah, wasn't that cool?
and keeps playing.
That was awesome.
What a bad A. I mean,
Yeah, that was awesome.
holy smokes.
Yeah, there's that picture of him. Well, there's a video of it too. They're wrapping his leg while he's singing the acoustic guitar and performing.
Yeah.
So kudos.
And he's just like, I'm coming back. They did have to cancel the rest of their tour, which, whatever. But that's just like,
But we have a man crush on Dave Grohl.
he really, really, really loves his fans.
And he loves what he does.
And he's a good guy. I've gotten my son just like totally, he's a Grohl head. He listens to Foo Fighters now. He's like, I showed him this like whole picture of Dave Grohl breaking his leg. And he's like, that is awesome. That is so cool. And I'm like, oh man, you're just in such a great place in your life right now. I'm so happy for you. You listen to good music. You're doing well in school. This is a moment.
This is magical. Let's share this together.
Yeah, exactly.
Yay. Okay, that's all the news.
Well, I've got one more with Kanye West. Kanye Watch 2015.
We're dropping the mic.
I actually had a listener contact me and tell me that they missed the Kanye Watch.
That was my wife.
Yeah, so
That's kind of messed up. Boop. Anyway, continue on
the
to
fact that
the
she's
Kanye
listening
Watch.
is amazing. Okay, Kanye Watch. He did a concert in Atlanta on like 2 days ago on Saturday.
Okay.
And he did a whole freestyle about racism, which I think is pretty interesting. And I read the lyrics. Actually, I thought I copied him, but I didn't write down the actual freestyle. But it wasn't terrible. And it's in relation to the shooting in Charleston, South Carolina.
Right.
So I'm not sure how it came off. In typical Kanye fashion, it was probably a big mess, but maybe it wasn't.
We need something to hate Kanye with.
I don't
that
have
was
anything.
That's actually kind of a noble thing.
He and Kim are having another baby. And that's all I got there.
Next in celebrity news, we're starting a new celebrity news podcast, by the way.
Yeah.
Wait, who's his wife?
Kim Kardashian.
Yeah, I have no idea who that is. And I refuse to acknowledge even that person. I refuse to acknowledge that name, Art.
I don't know how to respond to that because you obviously do know who that is.
I can neither confirm nor deny that I know such an individual.
You are being ridiculous in the way that you are just, I don't know who that is. I'm Eric. I'm the swoop.
I'm so cool.
I don't need to know who that is. I don't know what you're going through.
It's a midlife crisis.
I don't even know you anymore.
Anyway.
Let's move on to the next segment.
Art, do you have a segment for me?
I do. I was at this, workshop, and as always, the talk always degrades down from the high level thinking of songwriting to the low level talk of home studio ownership. I mean, it's fun to talk about.
The sausage making.
Yeah. And I talked with several people about making a home studio, building a home studio, what they did. And some people are building just amazing spaces with double walled, floating ceilings, the whole acoustic box treatment that you need to do for the actual air vents, and so these rooms are absolutely amazing. And if I could, I would build every single room I have into one of these acoustic rooms, even the kids' bedrooms. I don't want to hear from them.
You're sleeping in the studio,
They
young
need
man.
a 300-pound door and that I can lock them in with. I'm kidding, of course, but
Slightly.
But I also I don't have a studio like that. My studio is basically rooms. I have a lot of different rooms down here in the basement, and I use them, but they are not specially treated. And I wanted to go through and talk about the top 10 things to think about when you're starting your own home studio.
Oh, do I get to do intro music?
Do it now. Go for it.
The top 10 home studio placement studio home top 10.
That's not bad. That's not bad at all. It's not good.
Number 10.
All right. Number 10. And we're going to do this. My number 10 is has to do with your microphone. So I want you to actually practice using every single mic you have in every application you can think of before you get to the point where you actually have to do it live, like in the moment, right? So if you have acoustic guitars and you spend a lot of time recording acoustic guitars, I want you to get every single mic out and record your acoustic guitar in there and know how it sounds. So let's say you have a large diaphragm condenser mic and you have a small diaphragm dynamic mic, like a Shure SM57, and there's just so many large diaphragm condensers, it's ridiculous. I want you to practice.
Seriously?
Yeah. I want you to practice like recording your acoustic guitar with those two mics together, apart, in stereo, in different positions. Like learn how those mics work and make them work for you. And that way you get as many tonal possibilities as you can with what you already have. Eric, how many mics do you have in your home studio?
2.
You have 2. You have more than that.
I have...
You've got the Rode NT1A.
Yeah.
And then you've got an SM58.
Yeah, I have 2 SM58s, actually.
And then you've got another...
But those only count for one, because they're the same microphone.
Right, and you've got another dynamic
I have another
mic
microphone that I never use.
that you never use.
Yeah.
You need to get that microphone out and start
I need
using
to play
it.
with it.
You need to figure out how it works and
Just
what sounds it makes.
Just need to figure out what I'm doing.
Even if it's a crappy mic, I have a $20 Radio Shack mic that I use on guitar cabinets all the time because it sounds awesome, and it's a terrible mic. I mean, like,
okay, so I have 3 microphones.
So you have 3 different options. So I want you to think about like how those work, and then if you have a guitar amp that you record through, like use all 3 of them, learn how they all work. So that's number 10.
Laugh track. Number 9.
Here we go. Learn to record drums in your space with the mics you already have. Okay. Number 1, it's a blast to record drums. It's just a lot of fun. And number 2, it makes like a big difference in your recordings if you have live drums. And if you go on YouTube, there are a million different tutorials on how to record drums with any number of mics, including one mic all the way to like
I know, isn't that crazy?
a million. So the thing about recording drums is like, no matter what your space is like, if you're in a basement with no walls, right? Or if you're in a professional studio, it really, really kind of taxes your skill and it improves your skill. So I want you to start recording live drums in your space, like figure out how it works. Is that the clap track?
Number 8.
I want you to never, ever buy a plug-in, a preamp, hardware, or even a new microphone because you think you need them. I want you to buy them because it's fun to buy new gear and you want to buy it and stuff. But I don't want you to think that it's going to improve your recordings.
Only after you've mastered the basics first.
That's right. You should be...
EQ and compression, master those first, then move on.
And use the stock plugins for those, right? Like your stock plugins are more than enough for you to learn the techniques and stuff. You don't need to think about color. You don't need to think about any of this stuff. You want good sterile recordings with some good EQ and compression on them. And once you start getting that sounding really good, you can make decisions about color. But until that really starts, you can do that consistently the first time, every time, and that takes practice. I don't want you like going out and buying a $4,000 microphone thinking that it's going to be the bee's knees and make things work for you.
Unless, of course, I am selling you the $4,000 microphone.
Yes, I would definitely no, I would never buy anything from you like that.
That was...
I'm not sure what you're doing.
The
It's
audience
weird,
was
though.
laughing at you. Anyway.
Okay, I will add in the laugh track. How about that?
What? No.
All right.
Number 7.
Now, this is one of the most important ones. And I want you to remember, if you take nothing away from this, always remember this. Always, 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 always.
Oh, geez.
Always.
Okay.
Record to a second hard drive.
Oh.
Never, ever, ever record your audio to your system hard drive. It will mess it up every single time. You'll run into latency issues. You'll get pops. You'll get all kinds of clicks and mess. It's just a mess. And you need to record to a secondary hard drive. Now, it's
Right.
best if it's an internal hard drive. And some people, if they have like a MacBook or a laptop, they'll actually take the CD drive out and put a CD caddy with a hard drive in it into that slot so that they can
Brilliant.
record an internal drive on their laptop. Or if you have to, a USB drive will work as well. 7,200 RPM, but never, ever record to the same system drive. And I did this for years. I recorded our first album to the system drive and ran into all kinds of problems and hated every second of it the whole time.
So I put in a second hard drive without even thinking about it. So I just did that without, it just happened by inspiration.
Yes.
So
Yeah, very good.
Yay.
Very good. So make sure you record to a second hard drive. It's going to make a big difference in your audio.
Number 6.
Okay, so I want you to go and get yourself, one good $100 condenser microphone. And then I don't want you to think about microphones for a long time.
Not for a long time.
You just need one good condenser microphone to get started and to get, working. And then after that, I don't want you to think that a $200 microphone is going to be substantially better than your $100 microphone. It just isn't. I actually did I have the Rode NT1A. It's a $200 microphone, $220 or whatever. And I compared it with my MXL V67G, which is my favorite mic that I have. And that might cost me $88. They are so close to the same sound. It's ridiculous. They are so similar. I couldn't, in an A/B test, I couldn't figure out which one mic was what. So my suggestion for your first $100 microphone is the MXL V67G. It's a fantastic mic. It works really well. You don't need to mod it, but there's tons of mods out there if you want to play around with it and make it sound even better than it does. And then record, work, make some music. Stop thinking that new mics are going to help you out more than what you have.
That's brilliant. Brilliant.
And if you want to buy another mic, buy 2 of them, and then you have stereo overheads for your drums. So,
number 5.
So this one is about your listening environment. I want you to get a pair of monitors, and I want you to use them, and forget about buying another pair. So 5-inch, 8-inch. I think you're running 8-inch Mackeys. Is that right?
No, Samsung
monitors. Samsung
not
monitors.
Samsung.
Yeah, I can't believe I said that. Sorry. Samsung
how dare
monitors.
you with your
8-inch.
cell phones and
I run the Yamaha HS, not the HS, the Yamaha NS5s. And
they have horrible naming conventions. You know that?
Yeah, just kind of you just kind of have to learn to love it.
They need to be like the Hitachi Phoenix on Fire speakers.
Yeah.
Okay, there we go.
Well, the only company that's worse is Apple.
Oh, I know.
We're releasing the MacBook Pro. Wait. I don't.
It's true.
We've been doing this for about 10 years.
The iPhone
How do I know
4S.
which MacBook Pro this
Boy,
is
who
compared
thought of
to
that one?
MacBook Pro. What's going on here?
I know, it's true.
It's
They're
kind of crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway.
Yep. Anyway, so monitors. All right, here we go.
Number 4.
So, this is my I'm going to do some out of order from what I've had here, but I want you to know the differences between soundproofing and room treatment. Eric, in your mind, what is the difference between soundproofing and room treatment?
I have no idea.
Yes, you do. Come on.
Drops the mic.
No, you don't. Come on. You know the difference. What is it?
I have no idea.
Okay. Good thing we brought this up.
Yes.
So, soundproofing is like building walls and a room within a room for your studio so that it has complete separation and sound cannot escape. It doesn't go out into your neighbors or into your wife's bedroom or anything like that. Okay? This is ridiculously expensive. It is, and it takes a long time. I just talked to somebody who did his room and built a room within a room. I think it's amazing. It took him 9 months to build it.
Holy cow.
He did it all by himself, and then he had to hire a studio engineer or studio designer to come in and help him with a couple of problems. So this takes a lot of work. It does not increase your resale value. I would say it actually probably decreases it unless you find somebody who wants a studio.
Yeah, because then people will be like, huh, what's this used for again?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, it's not a pantry?
And unless you're really having a hard time keeping your levels like at a decent level and you can't find times or places to record that doesn't bother your family, it's not really needed that much. The difference is between this and room treatment. Now, this is really the thing that's important. So the foam on the wall or the acoustic panels.
Bass traps. I know
Bass
that.
traps, this stuff is really important, much more important than soundproofing, because you can always find a quiet time to record. And most of the time, it's going to be quiet, where unless you live in an apartment, it's going to be fairly quiet to record in there. But the room treatment will really affect the quality of your recording. And that's what you need to focus in on if you're going to build a home studio.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah,
Totally. Nummer 3.
Okay. Learn your room that you're mixing in. And the best way to do this is to sit down after you've kind of put some room treatment up and listen to your favorite music in your room and figure out where those frequencies come into play and what's heavy and where you need to kind of adjust. In my room, I noticed, and this is weird, this doesn't happen anywhere else, the bass frequencies on commercial releases are lower than where I actually want them to be. I want it to be a little more thumping. And it's probably because I have 5-inch monitors and could probably, use a subwoofer. So I'm looking into getting one of those. But they don't push as much bass as I do in my own mixes. So my mixes end up a little bass heavy. So I have to refer back to a reference track to make sure that they sound similar, that the levels on the bass and the treble are very similar, and I can kind of adjust that in mastering. But learn your room, what works, what doesn't work, the frequencies, and don't do this before or do this after you've done the room treatment, because that will make a big difference. Yeah.
Number 2.
Okay. I want you to learn to love bleed. So bleed is a mic picking up a source that it's not specifically pointed at. And it's really nice if you just kind of adopt an attitude that bleed is not bad. It's not terrible. Complete isolation is not even possible. I actually have a friend who built a completely pro studio, huge live room, amazing control room, and a dedicated vocal booth. And the live room, he always records full bands in the live room all together. And the bleed is all over the place. And he's a pro. I mean, he's very, very good. So, learn to love that bleed and learn not to worry about it too much. I am lucky to have lots of little rooms and lots of closets that I can throw guitar amps in, and so I do that. But just learn to work with it and learn how to point things away from each other and mics away from each other so they don't pick up too much of each other, and go for it.
In the country I come from, we call that bloody washout. Bloody washout.
What country
Drum
do
roll.
you come from? Oh my gosh.
Number 1.
Okay.
This better be good. I'm so excited. This is going to be good.
This one is my favorite one.
Oh, okay.
And it is learning how to use different types of microphones to reduce the bleed we just talked about. So embrace it, and then use good microphone technique to reduce it as much as you
Embrace it
can.
and reduce it.
It's going to be there. You got to embrace it.
Reuse, reduce, recycle, embrace.
But for instance,
I'm so confused.
if you use large diaphragm dynamic mics for vocals in the live room, you're going to get a good sound, and it's not going to pick up everything. If you use a ribbon mic and you're afraid that it's going to, let's say you have two people in the live room singing, if you can actually point the null point of that ribbon mic to the other singer, and it won't pick up what they're doing.
Brilliant.
So, use different mics and use their good qualities to kind of eliminate any bleed that you might have. I've had 5 singers singing down here, and I got pretty close to total separation just by mic placement, getting the mics in the right place.
Look at you, man.
Yeah, it's kind of fun. Anyways, those are my 10 things to think about.
Dun, dun, dun.
Bum, bum, bum.
The Arts Top 10.
That's right. The big thing is, get into it. Mix it up. Make some music.
Epic. Art.
What's up, man?
Art.
Yes, we do this every time. It's
Danger Zone.
Danger Zone.
So we have a songwriting segment. I figured, those songs that always go, hey, hey.
Yeah, like with a big shout chorus or something.
No, not even that.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Okay.
just a, hey.
With a hey in there?
Yeah. So I have 3 examples of some songs that have, hey. And then I was like, I've got 10 extra minutes. Let's see if I can make my own, hey.
All right.
So, in the first example, we're going to listen to Alt J's song, Every Other Freckle. Listen to the heys in the background. So in this instance, he's actually using the hey in place of a snare drum on the beat. And I like it. It's brilliant.
Yeah, it's really cool like that. I like that.
We will talk about Alt J later in Picks of the Week, but the way he used it. So it's just the simple, hey, right? That's all it is.
Yeah.
So another way we use it is just as filler. Something instead of using it as an actual beat, you can use it as filler, which is our next example of Monsters and Men. The song is Little Talks. Everyone knows this. But when So just a small clip there, because you can hear it wasn't meant to be part of a beat. It's just meant to be something on top that adds to the song.
I like it.
Right? And then the last example is a song. I actually hate this song. I hate Iggy Azalea. Can't stand her. But she uses this as an instrument. Right? This is the instrument for the verse. So listen to the haze in the background.
Here we go.
So you hear it was just bass and hey, 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 hey. So you can use the hey, the 3 different examples of using hey, right?
Yeah.
It's become really popular lately.
That's
so I was like,
very cool.
I was like, I'm going to make my own hey. So all I did was I grabbed my Shure SM58 microphone.
Yeah.
See, I did name dropping there for you, Art.
Thank you. I like the name dropping.
And here's the dry hey.
Hey. Hey.
Just 2 examples. That's it, because it's kind of boring.
Right. And you're making kind of a sample out of it?
Yeah.
You're just going to sample.
So, what you can do, right? Add some reverb. Just any large room setting to a reverb. A large plate kind of works, but usually if you have like a big room, large room, cathedral type setting, that's what you want to use. And then you want to use a bus or some type of auxiliary. Put a delay on there. And what I did was I used a delay at about 84 milliseconds with about 25% feedback. And this is what you get out of it.
Here we go.
Hey. 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 Hey.
Huh. That's very cool.
Right, so it adds a bunch of stuff to it. So you can tone down the feedback a little bit. That was a little extreme, but I did extreme just so you could hear it.
Yeah, a little ping-pongy.
Yeah, and it had a ping pong effect on it.
Yeah.
So throw that. You could throw that in the back just as an effect. You could throw it using it in the beat. So possibilities are endless. But the hey is very popular right now. Just using it. Hey! Like that.
Yeah, that's cool. I like that.
So anyway, songwriting tip o' the day.
From an engineering aspect, if you can get a bunch of people in the room to do kind of make it a shout thing.
Yeah, I'll say hey at the same time.
I'll say hey at the same time. That's kind of a fun way to do it too. I've done that and recorded them 3 or 4 times, and all of a sudden I've got 40 people, on this recording singing hey in different spots or whatever the shout is.
Cool. I like it.
And that's a fun technique to use.
So anyway, that's all I got.
Nice.
So I've decided you need to change your name to Articus.
Articus.
I love it.
That's a very cool name, yeah.
Just like Articus. I have an engineer friend named Articus, and everyone will be like, I must record with this man. Anyway, that just came.
So I swear on the blood of my fathers,
swear
I shall record my album with this man, Articus.
So, my pick of the week this week is Alt J. I'm going with him again.
What?
And here's why.
This is awesome. I've been listening to them. I love them. Go ahead. This is great.
Okay, so the album, oh man, I don't even remember it. This Is All Yours? Or is it This Is Mine? This Is All Yours. That's what it is. Anyway, I listen to it every single day now. And matter of fact, I've gotten to the point where I want to write an album as genius as this album. I think the biggest problem with the album is it's a little on the softer side. It gets a little down after a while, kind of depressing after a little while. Needs some little more up-tempo stuff. But man, it is genius beyond genius. So anyway, I brought a clip of his song Every Other Freckle. It's actually on the radio, but man, I love this.
Cool. That's awesome.
Every button you press, and all the mouths that's around you. Yes, I know that all around you. Like a cat runs around, so does it my deals. Ooh, now I'm gonna kiss you, like the sun browns you.
My pick of the week is the Bell Brigade. I can't even say it. The Bell Brigade.
It was like a movie, watching her eyes read what I wrote made sweet weeds feel weak in her knees. And I thought that everyone would know by now. I've been alive long enough to know how things just get around. And everybody probably thinks I'm crazy. Well, I'll just tell you now that I fell in love and I couldn't help.
And they just had a brand new album come out, and they're just really cool. It's definitely a folky kind of indie feel, but they just, man, I just get so happy when I listen to their music.
That's good.
And that's kind of like, I don't always feel that way. Sometimes I'm like, this is a good jam. This is some good blues. This is like definitely, taking the edge off. But with them, like they start playing, I start listening to their music, and it's just like I am happy. I'm upbeat. I'm ready to go. It is fun to listen
That's
to.
nice.
So
So
yeah.
I've come to realize that if I'm ever going to break big, it's going to be outside the country. It's going to be David Hasselhoff.
Yeah, probably.
So there's this. I'm doing this music streaming thing where I have. I try and fit my music into. We were talking about this Django music a little while back. Fit it into certain genres, and it slips into people's playlists.
Yeah.
On radio and
Right.
internet radio. And more, I'm getting these fans, from like Japan,
Nice.
Israel, Africa, nothing in the United States, but everyone, Italy, like all this stuff. So I'm getting a lot of these people that are becoming my quote unquote fan,
That is cool.
but they're all outside the country. So I'm like, I can live with that.
Yeah. No,
That's
totally
cool.
fine to go and do a tour in Japan.
I know. How
That
cool
would
would that
be
be?
awesome.
The
And
David
even-
Hasselhoff of
even
Japan.
So one of the things I want to talk about, and maybe I'm going to bring this up now so that we can kind of prepare for it maybe in a few weeks, but is performing live on the internet, streaming an actual concert, and what it takes to do that, how you put that together, and how you make that work. Because I think that's a very interesting thing. I've been reading some articles about it. I've been thinking about doing it here, and so eventually I want to talk about that.
Remember, check out Stage It.
Yeah, I think that's one of the ones I've been looking at.
It's pretty cool.
And there's a couple of others that are doing it, and
Yeah.
and I think YouTube even has some functionality, but not. I don't know what it is exactly, so I've got to look at it. But interesting concept, especially for us stay-at-home musicians,
Stay-at-home musicians.
introverts who don't like to leave our basements.
Yeah.
So, anyways,
Anyway, have a wonderful week.
that's right. Email us at talkingaboutnoise@gmail.com. Follow us on our website at talkingaboutnoise.blogspot.com and tweet us at Artmore Studios and at I Am the Swoop.
Stupid Twitter.
Yeah. I did pretty good there. I got
Yeah,
it
that was
all
great.
out
I mean,
almost in
that
one.
was NPR quality.
Oh, I'm getting better at it.
sub NPR at least.
Probably need to write it down at some point.
Maybe sub level NPR. But you're getting there. It was good.
Anyway, we're coming up on our 50th episode. We're going to do something special.
50th anniversary?
50th episode.
Anniversary.
Not anniversary. No,
Yes.
No, we don't have an anniversary for
That's our
every
diamond
week.
That's our diamond anniversary art.
It is our diamond.
What are you
episode.
getting me?
Probably a cubic zirconia.
Say you will. That's so nice.
I'm not saying anything. Anyway, we love you fans. Keep listening. Keep making music, and reach out to us. We'd love to hear from you. How do you like the show? Is there something you want us to do differently, or just send us an email just to talk. How's your marriage doing?
Life advice.
These are things we want to know.
We'll help you with the marriage.
Dude, I will totally give relationship advice.
Yeah.
That would be
we could be the
awesome.
relationship masters.
Yeah, that'd be all about buying new guitars and how that will fix your marriage. Anyway, we're signing off. That's it for this week.